This conference will now be recorded.
Training when I was before joining my team. Started with all the them in the software industry. So that's where my career started. So I have trained around 300, 400 plus students, especially on Python, and more than 1,000 students on mainframes. So this is about me. Fine. So let's start with our discussion. So today we will going to discuss about introduction to Python. So here we will cover all the advantages. So why Python is booming in nowadays. So why exactly everybody is saying Python, Python everywhere. So actually this Python has been developed somewhere in 90s, but why exactly this coming to picture now? All these things we will discuss. So the start begin the session. Before that, I just want to thank you, so Micronet Services, Micronet ID Solutions, so for giving me this fantastic opportunity. And so this is all about micro IT solutions. You can see the website, LinkedIn, and Facebook over here. Facebook links over here. So please get in touch with these guys so that in future you can get more webinar links. So because these guys are conducting this for free of cost. Okay. So this okay. So what mean? So actually, it has been founded in 1999. So in California. So these guys provide trainings and placements in various domains. So various domains and technologies. So like data science, DevOps, even Python, .NET, SQL Cloud, and all those things. So you can easily reach out with the links provided in the screen. So let's start with our today's agenda. So these are the things we will cover today. So what is Python? History and versions of Python. So why choose Python? So what are the features of the Python? And Python derived from applications of Python. Who is just using Python? How exactly the flavors of Python are? Salary trends, and then so we will try to show you how exactly it is easy. Easy to learn. Let's start. Now, so what exactly the Python is? Python is a general purpose, high level, interpreted, dynamically typed programming language which has been created with by Goto Van Rossum. So now we will try to understand one by one how what exactly the general purpose means, what exactly the high level, what is interpreted and dynamically typed. So now first of all we will see what is general purpose. So this can be this Python language can be used for in all the domains. For example, see I will give some examples. There is something called as guideware. So which was been developed by Guso language. Guso language. So which can be only used for the guideware platform. Likewise, we have Pega, so which can only use for that language. So whereas Python can be used in multiple domains, there is no restrictions of using anywhere. So it is very famous nowadays. People are using in data scientists. Data scientists is the most preferable language. Even in it can be used in machine learning and artificial intelligence. Right. So we'll go with high level. So what exactly high level means? High level means so most of the things are abstracted background and only visible, so which can be useful. For example, if you go with C language, we have something called as memory allocation. We have to give external memory things. So whereas it is not there in Python language, the internal memory allocation happened by itself. So if you are from programming background, I hope you remember in C language you have something called as malloc, calloc, and functions for memory allocation and deallocation. So whereas in Java it is not available, even the Python is also built on the same perspective. So it is more convenient. So that's the reason we can say it is a high level language. And now, why Python is called as interpreted language? So, for example, if you write any C language or C++ or Java, so what exactly you have to do? Let's suppose you have written a small code. So for example, for execution of this, first of all, you have to convert into a machine understandable code. And then we have to run this code. So whereas Python is not like that. So you can execute the code then and there itself line by line. Right. So it directly internally transforms it into a bytecode and then execute it. But we cannot see that. No concept of compiling and linking, converting into a bytecode and all. So that's where Python is called as interpreted language. Generally, scripting languages all are interpreted language. Even we can call Python as scripting language. Now, so we'll try to understand what is dynamically typed. For example, so what exactly dynamical type is? So let's suppose you want to declare a variable or anything. You want to store any number. So that means you have to mention what should be the size of it, what should be the type of it. So whereas in Python, it's not needed. Just you can declare any variable. So with by saying x equal to 10. So that means Python internally understand what exactly the 10 is. So whether it is an integer type, dynamical type, whether it is a string, whatever it is. So by default, it will assign the type of it automatically. So no need of worrying about declaration, no need of worrying about memory overflow concepts and all. So that's where a Python is most useful thing. So that's the reason we call it as dynamically typed language. So any questions so far, guys?
No.
Thank you. So I can move ahead. So now let's talk about history of Python. So actually, the Python has been discovered by Gustav van Rossum. So generally, it has been started in 1980s itself. So the name why he has given Python, generally Python is called as Snake, but he is very fan of. There is one show called as Monty Python Flying Circus. Generally, uh, it used to come in BBC channels, so it was a comedy show, and that's the reason. So he is fan of that. That's the reason he kept the language name as Python. So he want his the name of the language should be short, unique, and slightly mysterious. That's the reason he given a name as Python. So there is no history saying that Python, why snake and all. So just he liked the story. He has given the name. That's it. So now let's try to understand. So when exactly the first version and all these things created. So now, so what I did is before developing a Python language, so he understood many languages called as all basic code, C, C++, modular tree, and even Unix shell scripting, and even Algo 68. And he incorporated all the best benefits or best features of all this language and then integrated with the Python. So that's the reason. So it became a very user-friendly language. So he started implementing in 1989 and he first released the version 1991. And later on in 1994, the official version has been released. So we'll try to understand the versions of Python so far. So this is how the journey of Python is. So in January 1994, the first version has been created, and so whatever the disadvantages or whatever the problems they have faced in the Python verse has been recovered in Python second version, which has been released in April 2001, and later on it's keep on updating one by one. So this is the journey. Even now current version is 3.8.2. Now there is a big difference between second version and the third version. So there are some syntactical changes which they have done to overcome some things, to overcome something. So that's the reason people still using second version, and there are so many companies are using third version also. So there might be a chance if in future if you are looking for any Python developer position, then you might be working on either 2.x version or 3.x version. So if you are learning any of this, everything is same. But the thing is, there are some syntactical changes. So that's where a person who is working on two plus x version, they cannot upgrade it to 3.x version. So that's how there is some complexity. Before doing that, they have to do several changes in the programming things. So that's where a Python maintaining two version. So the 2.x version support will be there till to the end of this year 2020. Later on, there will be no support. So either they have to upgrade it to 3.0 and the 3.x versions. Many have questions like why you have to choose Python. So let's try to understand. So why we have to choose Python. So first thing is it is very easy and understand, and it is very easy to learn also because of its syntax, because of its features, and because of its dynamically typed versions and all. So we'll see some things later on. As of now, we'll go ahead. So and first, another benefit of it is free and open source language. We need no need to pay a single rupee, even a business provided license also it's free of cost. No need to invest a single rupee on this. And now, so it is very few code lines and less time. For example, if you are writing any program in C++, C or Java language, let's suppose if it is taking 200 lines. So whereas you can write up same code in Python with 50 and 60 lines of code. So that's how simpler the Python language is. So these have been approved by data scientists. So because it has several libraries which is called as NumPy, Pandas, and so many other things which are used for data scientific calculations. And there is a separate flavor for uh, data scientists called as SciPy, which is nothing but scientific Python language. So generally used for data scientists, so for its calculations and all. And it has a very huge community. So for example, if you stuck anywhere while writing a program, if you're facing any issues, so just log on to Python community and you can just post your questions. You can get immediate answers within no time. So I recently posted one question, I got reply in 6 minutes. That's how it's the huge community is. So if you are studying anywhere, understanding existing functions or libraries or whatever written in the Python language, you can get the answer very easily. So that's the benefit of Python language. So far, any question, guys? Silence means no response. Or
What are the use cases for Python?
sorry?
Use cases?
Okay, I can just show you in later slides. Okay, we'll continue this. We can see this. So, what are the features of Python? So, it is object-oriented programming. So, generally, like C++, even Java, and many other languages, Python is also object-oriented. And meanwhile, it also supports a function which is nothing but procedure language also. So we can work as a procedural, and we can also work as an object-oriented. So generally, object-oriented means classes and objects where all the data has been encapsulated or extracted. So with the help of this, we can move forward. So cross-platform. So what exactly the cross-platform is? So for example, you have written any code. So which will be work even on Linux, Windows, and even Mac. So wherever you have written a single code, it runs in any different platform, even it works on Solaris platform. So it has rich libraries. It has very good rich libraries. For example, see, um, for specific to data science, there is a separate set of libraries. For a specific to artificial intelligence and machine learning, there is a separate set of libraries. So it has a huge libraries, and which with the help of this, it makes our lives easy. So no need to brainstorm or do else strict logic of this. We can easily get this existing functions. With the help of this, we can execute and get our results. And as I mentioned, it is very simple to use. And it can be integratable. For example, see, I am familiar with Java language. Now, and you are started using a Python. For example, you are an expert in one part of the Java, so you can integrate it with a Python also. So there are several flavors of Python. So we will discuss in later slides. We can incorporate our Java functions, even C functions, which are already existing in the same systems. That's how the Python can be integrated and work in any flavors, in any different flavors. So that's the reason Python has several flavors. We can see this in later slides. And elegant syntax. The syntax is very easy. so anybody can understand. So, so that's all about features of Python. So as I mentioned in earlier, so so he studied many things like ABC language, shell scripting, and C language, C++ language. So he incorporated the best features from different languages for building Python language. So we'll try to understand this. The functional programming features he incorporated from C language, OOPS concept from C++ language, scripting features from Perl and shell scripting, and modular programming features from Modular 3, and many other features from ABC, Smalltalk, and etc. So that's how Python is derived. He, he incorporated many other features. So it loads. Let's go on the next slide. Right. So we have seen so far. So why we have to choose Python and what are the features of Python. So now we will try to understand applications of Python. So where exactly we can use Python for. So Python can be useful for creating many things. So as I mentioned in the first slide, so there is no domain specific. We can use Python in all domains. So even we can use Python for web applications. So we can create web applications with the help of Python. So there are several things, framework called as Django. With the help of this, we can develop this. And for data analysis, so there is some libraries called as NumPy and Panda, so which are very popular for data scientists. So with the help of this, we can use it. And for machine learning, which is something called as scikit-learn. So with the help of this incorporation, these are the libraries which we can use for machine learning. Like we can even use for diagrammatic representation, pictorial representation, and we have some libraries called as matplotlib where we can use it for pictorial representation. And even we can use this Python for development of games. So we have some libraries called as Pygame. So with the help of this, we can develop games, and it's also used for automation. We can run even Selenium scripts on Python. So let's suppose you have several repetitive stuff. So you want to automate it, like copying a file, uploading, sending an email on a regular task. You can automate it simply with the help of Python. So far, any question, guys?
One question. So
Yes.
yeah, you are saying we can simply automate. Okay, I mean, so something you will find modules like Ansible will find some modules. The same thing, some modules will be available. We can use those and we can reduce the code and like that. How it works basically.
Yes. So the thing is like, see, you can incorporate many things. There are rich libraries in it. So because of this only, the Python can be simplified. So for example, if you want to read a CSV file or something like that, so with the help of matplotlib, so it easily incorporates CSV file directly, and we can represent columns, rows, and anything. For example, if you want to pull the data specifically which are written in the CSV file, so with the help of matplotlib, you can automate it. Let's suppose if the percentage student percentage is 60, and if you want to inform this information to the parents, or so with the help of SMTP server, we can send an email to it. So automatically we will run one script which run in many platforms, and we can use it. So simply by just clicking a double click, it will pull the information. For example, you want to convert a CSV file into a text format. All these things can be achieved with the help of Python. There are several things.
Okay, thank you.
Now, so apart from this, there are several applications you can also use it for image processing, robot control programming, NLP, natural language analysis, web development, data analysis, machine learning, and artificial intelligence. So mostly, so we can also say that, so all these are applications which are available in the market even before introduction of the Python. But why Python came into picture now? Because of these things. So because nowadays everybody is talking about machine learning, everybody is talking about data science, artificial intelligence. With the rich libraries of Python, so especially for processing all these things, Python is very useful. So that's the reason data scientists approved Python as an official language for development. Even people are using R, but compared to the libraries, so there are huge number of libraries in the Python language. Now, so this is the applications. So for example, for scientific calculate computing, we will use NumPy. For data visualization, we will use Plotly. So for natural language processing, NLDK. So for game development, we'll use Pygame. For web framework, we'll use Django, and we have something called as Flask also. For GUI application, and we will use Quinter. So, so this is all about the applications. These are all the libraries which are readily available. So if you are using a basic version of the Python, you may not found NumPy, Pandas, and all things. So there are several IDEs like PyCharm, Anaconda. With the help of this, you can integrate very easily all these libraries. Otherwise, we have an option called as PIP. So with the help of this, we can even integrate to an existing normal version, which you can download with the help of Python. So even Google started development Python script, and even Facebook has developed from GUI. So all these things, people are, because it's a free open source, anybody can develop anything. So day by day, the libraries in the Python are keep on increasing, and we'll try to understand who is using Python. So all these big giants like YouTube, Google, Dropbox, Netflix, NASA, and even NSA, Raspberry Pi. So all these are using Python. So I have even kept so where exactly the purpose they are using, and even we can use it in for IoT also. So IoT with the help of Raspberry Pi. So Raspberry Pi officially announced Python as their language. So we have developed one application with the help of Raspberry Pi to identify where exactly the employee now is. So so this is one use case we can see. And as I mentioned earlier, so there are several flavors of Python. So we have something called as Bright Python, Ruby Python, MicroPython, JPython, and Iron Python, C Python. So generally, this is an IDE which has been developed on C language. C Python, C Python we will generally call it as. Okay, it has been developed by C language. So while if you are comfortable with C language and you want to use it, so with the help of Python, you can integrate the functions of C language, and also you can use the functions which are present in the libraries which are present in the Python language. And for JPython, it is specific to Java. For Ruby Python, it is specific to Ruby language, and MicroPython is for microcontrollers. So these are the different, and Iron is for C sharp. So these are the different languages, sorry, flavors of Python. And we'll try to understand the salary trends of Python. So for data scientists, this is an average salary people are earning. It's $1,27,000 change. And for machine learning, it's 1,43,000 change. And for Python itself alone for application development like web applications and all, so we can get at least 1,23,000. These are the average salaries as per Indeed. So before going to site, I just want to show you how exactly the Python is simple. So let me navigate the screen. So let's try to understand. For example, I've written some simple program. For example, this is a simple C language program for displaying hello world. And this is a simple C program for performing addition of three numbers. So we have to declare three variables with a type. We have to declare A, B, C, and even sum, and then we have to perform a sum of this, and then we can print it. So let's try to execute this to just check whether it can be run or not. This is the online debugger. So with the help of this we can run. So we can see we can getting the answer. And this is for hello world program with respect to Java. So, so if you execute, we can see we can get the answer on this. Right. So let's try to understand the same thing with the help of Python. Right. So this is one thing. This is the simplest syntax we can do with the help of Python. So one. Let's try to run it. This is how the simpler Python language is. We can simply say hello world print. So with the help of this we can run it. Now let's try to understand. For example, see I want to declare a variable a, so which is having the value of 10. So now let's try to print a. Now I will just try to run it. You can see I can get the value of as 10. So did I give any type? Did I give any size? No. No need to give anything. Directly with the help of this, you can assign it. Let's try to understand what is the type. You can see internally it is assigned integer value. So that means that's the reason we call it as dynamically typed. And you can see this is how the interpreter. Did I compiling anywhere? No. Just we can directly run it. So no need of any compilation. So now let's try to understand some another program for swapping the values. For example, so this is a simple program for swapping two numbers. So this is how we will write in the C language. I'm just trying to enter, execute a code. It's asking for entering the first number. It's asking to enter second number. And then after swapping, this is how the code looks like. Let's try to do the same thing with the help of Python. I'll declare a variable something like this. So this is how I declare the variables. I have not given any type, sorry. So we will see the value of a. You can see the 10 and 20 respectively. Now let's try to swap it. So with the help of this simple syntax. Now this is how we will swap. Now we will just try to copy this and put it same for this. You can see the value of a is become 20, the value of a become 10. Sorry, the value of a become 20 and the value of b become 10. So this how the language is very simple to use. And we will also try to see something also. So with respect to string reverse, for example, this is a simple code for reversing a string. Even we have reverse function that will also work, but we'll try to execute it. It is asking me to enter string. So this is how it has been reversed. So you can see the syntax, how much lines of code we have written. Let's try to understand the same thing with respect to Python. So now let's suppose I have declared a with. Now let's try to print a. You can get right. So now I'm just trying to reverse it. You can see the second one has been reversed. So this much simple the syntax is. So you don't worry about the syntaxes. This is the slicing techniques we will generally use as part of the Python language. And now I will just try to show another example. Uh, So for example, see, this is a simple code which we are using in C language. Now, so I've declared a variable int with a with type int. Now I given some random value. Now I'm trying to find the value of it. Now, if you see the answer, you can see the value has been overflowed. So that means there is some limitation for int. There is some limitation for it. So that means it cannot occupy it. So there is something overflow happening as part of this calculations. So whereas in Python, so no need of all those things. Even you can assign a variable. So with this many lines, still it is accepted. So let's try to do the same thing. You can see still we can get the answer. That means it dynamically assign the space, it dynamically assign the type, and all this thing happens. So this makes the Python as a simpler language, and it is very easy to learn. So now, you have any question, guys?
Raspberry Pi, can you explain a little bit more on how Raspberry Pi can be used?
Sorry, can you
Raspberry
repeat
Pi.
your question? Yeah. So Raspberry Pi is it contains only RAM. It's a simple device. So generally, it for automating things or microcontrolling things. So Raspberry Pi will connect to a system. So where it will give an thing for expanding the coding in it. So we can use microcontroller code. Even you can use a Python code in that. That's how we will write some automate script and we can act accordingly.
It's a just OS, lightweight operating system, right? And also use the hardware.
Yes, yes. It's a hardware and a lightweight system. It contains only RAM. It doesn't contain any memory storage.
Okay, software and hardware from both from Raspberry Pi, right?
Yes.
That inexpensive.
Yeah, that I think it's cost only 2,500 as per INR.
Okay.
Any more questions? So let's try to understand that is some questions posted by people. So what is the difference between C++ and Python? Right. As I say, C++ is an object-oriented, not full-fledgedly. So Python is also used for web application. For C++, is not used for web applications. Okay. And and Python is fully fledged, and there are hell a lot of libraries. C++ is limited, so that's where the benefits of Python. For learning Python, basically we should have any no. It doesn't require any priority knowledge. So any prerequisites is not there. Just you can start. So with the basics. So one thing is you have to keep on working on this. Okay. So different between Java and Python. See, so Java generally used for. So let me go to my slide again. Okay, so you can see here applications of Python. So with the help of Python, you can develop web application, data analysis, machine learning, game development, automation, and everything. So, but whereas with the Java, we cannot do all these things. We can just go ahead with web application, and even we can develop desktop applications. But data analysis part, there is no libraries for it. So we have to write hell lot of code so for processing the data. And machine learning, it is not at all possible with the help of Java. Yes, it is possible, but the thing is like for even doing a simple task, we have to. For example, see, I will give you some machine learning example. Let's suppose see when you see any movie or something like this, whenever people are having alcohol, whenever a person is driving a car very fast. So what happens at the end? It will show you a note: drinking alcohol is injurious to health. Speed and drive within this speed, all these things. So this thing, nobody will go and see where exactly these things are happening and tag these things. Whereas with the help of image processing, so we have applications of Python, we have something called as image processing. With the help of this, we can identify image and we can build an algorithm to understand where exactly these things are happening and then automate it. So that's where we can do with the help of Python. The best way to learn Python is okay. The thing is like we have to sit continuously and start exploring the rich libraries in it. As I mentioned, the same thing with Java. Both Java and the .NET applications are same. It applies to the both. Any more questions, guys?
Hi Naresh, this is Nilesh here. I'm basically a database administrator. Okay, so how can I
Okay.
use Python to automate certain tasks? For my database activities. Is it feasible? I mean, we do not have much knowledge on the coding, but would like to
Okay.
know if I can use Python for automating certain functionalities.
Yes, we can do it. So generally, we can interact the Python with databases also. Okay. So with the help of this, we can automate several things. For example, see, I think you have a concept of daily backupping up. And for example, let's suppose if there is any troubleshooting things or providing a new employee an administrator rights or employee rights. I think nowadays we are doing it manually as a DBA person. So with the help of this, we can automate. So we can interact and we have to run a script on this. So everything can be happen with the help of this.
So how does Python interact with the database? What API? I mean, how does it ideally connect? I
Yeah,
mean,
so we have several APIs like Anaconda, we have an like PyCharm. So these are the having a rich libraries. So with the help of this, we can connect. So we have to configure our server address where exactly all these are located. With we have to provide the credential over there. So then we can start using it.
okay.
Somebody posted learning sources. So just Google it. You will get n number of things. Okay, there is no specific. Somebody posted a question. Can we start learning Python from any release or any specific release? We can start. There is no nothing saying that we have to start learning from this and that. So there are some syntactical changes from second version and third version. And okay, let me show you one thing. So this image show you exactly what it is. Let's suppose in 2.x and Python 3.x. So these are some of the changes. For example, if you see the last one, print. So previously we used to do within double quotes, whereas now we have to give some curly brackets. So wherever in an existing code print was there, it will not work as expected now. And now let's suppose there is 7 by 2, that is actually 3.5. But if you are using a Python 2.x version where it will be rounded off to the nearest one, so it will become 3. But whereas in Python 3.x, it will assign dynamically float thing, and then it will give 3.5. So this is some difference. So it doesn't matter, even if you are learning 2.x and 3.x, you can work anywhere. Somebody was asking some questions.
Naresh, you are using some interface, online GDB. I mean, what exactly is that? I mean, is that where we can practice the codes and?
Yes. Yeah, no need to install anything if you are using this GDB. So, yeah. So this is online GDB. Just here, not only Python, you can learn any languages like C, C++, Java, C++, VB, HTML, Ruby, anything. So even they have incorporated Python 3.
So since this Python is open source, right?
Yes.
So we I mean, okay, so we can download the latest Python libraries from the website.
Yes, it is very simple. Just to go to website Python.
So it comes as a complete package, or we have to download independent Python libraries?
Yeah. One thing is like, see, let's suppose if we are downloading anything from the Python website, it doesn't include many libraries. Whatever the features which has developed by Python, all the libraries are available. Okay, but you can integrate several libraries to the existing installation itself. Okay, but whereas there are several IDs which are also very free. Let's suppose there is something called as PyCharm, there is something called as Anaconda, which is very famous. It is completely have full rich of library. This is also freeware, so directly you can download it and use it as wish, because it include every library.
Okay.
So any more questions which I can address? So if there is no more question, then so that's it from my side. So I hope I have given the insights of Python very clearly. So so thank you for your time. I know it is Sunday, but yes, thank you for your precious time you have spent it for this session.
One more question. Not question. Can you show me the screenshot of what is that? Features of Python. Look at that one.
Features of Python. Yes,
Yeah, this one.
this one.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Now, so if anybody missed to update the Google form, so please update your things with detail, so that we will keep you posting with updates and all in the future webinars and something like this. Today is completely basic Python, so maybe in the next section we'll plan to start writing some simplest code, and then we can move forward.
Excuse me, Naresh.
Yes.
What is the learning curve for Python and maybe machine learning?
Okay, learning how. So first of all, you have to learn the basics of the Python. So okay, but see, the thing is like you should we can avoid learning the concepts of which are used for web applications, games development, and automations. We can just focus on the things which are useful complete data scientist and machine learning. So as I said, there is something called as snippet. So and we have something called a TensorFlow, and we have something called as matplotlib, which is for data visualization, and we have pandas, numpy. So there are specific topics, specific topics which we can learn and we can start implementing our algorithms for data scientists and even machine learning.
So Skillet and all these TensorFlow, they are IDs or like what are they?
So this is nothing but we have to import it. So these are the libraries which are readily available. So we have to just import these libraries when and where needed, and just we can start using.
Okay, that's
Right. So if you are really interested to learn more or get insights of it, you can contact our team will contact you with the details which you have provided in the form. So we are planning to even start a session and training specific to even data science, specific to web development, specific to machine learning. So if some people are using for automation, like people are using even RPS and all, even we can use automation Selenium scripts with the help of Python and specific to application. And even I can show you how exactly we can connect to Raspberry Pi and how exactly things can work it out. So all these things so we can do. So our team will contact you with the details. So with the email and all, so they can get back to you. If you are interested, you can write an email with the details. So I'll just update my email ID in the chat box. Feel free to write an email with your questions if you feel any. So thank you for your time. So Ajay, you want to add anything on this?
Naresh, one last question. How much time it will take to learn Python?
Right. So if you are look, are you focusing on anything like web applications, or you are focusing on data science or machine learning part, or how exactly?
For web applications only.
For web applications, okay. So we have two frameworks called as Django and Flask, so which are mostly used for developing web applications. So if you want to learn and if you are spending at least 1 or 2 hours on a daily basis, we can wrap it up in 30 to 40 minutes.
Okay, thank you.
So thank you all
Yes,
for
Naresh.
your wonderful
So
time.
I have
Yes, yes.
shared Google Form again. If anyone is not filled up their details, please fill up your details. So we're closing the session. So please fill up your
Okay.
details. Closing the session.
As Ajay mentioned, please fill
The
your
training
details in the Google
details.
Form. Yeah.
Yes. So we will send all the training details along with documentation, PPT as well, and the recording session of as well. So please
Yeah,
fill
you
up
will be
your
getting
details.
this recording session.
Closing the session.
where you have to fill the details.
I have shared a Google form in the chat box. Let me share it again. Can you please confirm if you get it in the chat box?
Yes.
Yeah, got it. Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you. Please fill up the form.
Okay. Before leaving, please fill your things with the details. Okay. Thank you for your time, guys. So hope you have a great weekend.
Hello, hello,
Hello. Yes.
hello, Ajay.
Yes,
Hello.
yes, yes.
Yeah, I
Go
have
ahead.
one question. Like, if you are going for a Python interview, how can means like from the interview point, like we how we can expect questions from him? Like, if we are experienced and means like we just know the basics of Python, and if they want us to ask some questions regarding like Python interview is going on, then how can we expect questions from them?
Okay.
Okay.
We just know that.
Yeah. Your good name?
My name is Rajesh.
Hi, Rajesh. Yeah. So I can answer this question. See, so If you mean to say that you are keeping your experience and going as a Python developer and attending any interview, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Yeah, the thing is like we will also provide a training with respect to projects. So we will be doing some live projects, so which are real-time problems, and with the help of this, you can gain some industry and know what exactly people are doing inside the industry. So with the help of this, you can attend or crack the interviews easily. This is as part of training propaganda.
Even will you be helping us on doing some kind of projects, which
Yes.
to gain some experience, like a working environment, how it will be in the MNCs or some like startups or something. They will be working on some different kinds of projects or on Python, right? Hello, hello.
I think his connection is lost.
Hello.
He's reconnecting
Are you
again.
able to hear me?
Yes, we're able to hear you. So he's lost his connection. Is connecting again. So please wait one more minute.
Hello, hello, hello.
Yeah, I think we lost Naresh. Let's wait for a minute, okay?
Yeah, are you able to hear me?
Yes, we can able to hear you. Just to give a minute.
Yeah. Okay. Hello. Hello.
I think looks like he got disconnected. Okay.
No, 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 no.
Naresh, are you
Are you
there?
able to hear me? Hello.
Naresh? Yes, we can able to hear
Hello.
you, but is it Naresh?
No, no, it's me, Raja.
Okay, Raja, looks like we are having some issues from Naresh side. Okay, why don't you send your questions in email?
Okay, done.
Okay. Okay.
Actually, I have asked the last question to you. I
No,
asked the last question.
I'm Vinod here. Looks like we lost Naresh. Okay, so whatever
Okay, no
questions
problem.
you have, please,
I'll send you
yeah,
my
send in
questions to. Yeah, yeah.
to the email. Okay.
No, okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Bye,
Thank you
guys.
very much. Bye bye.
Sorry guys, it got disconnected. Yeah, so I was referring to one of the question by the people who said, so we will provide even on projects, so with end to end, how exactly the client requirements come. So it will be easy for you to attend interview.
If no questions, we will end up this webinar today. So any question, guys? Yes, Naresh, we will close this. So thank you for
I think
attending
we
this
can.
session.
Okay, fine. Thank you.